was as shocked as I've ever been in a football game. There's a chance you're going to stop them, but you just don't think it's going to be that way.
Yeah, you couldn't even write up a movie on something like that.
It was one of the most amazing moments in the history of the rivalry, and the fact that it was such a microcosm of the season to that point for both teams, I think made it even richer.
The beginning had such an energetic start. For starters, I thought that all of the energy and all of the cheering and all the different elements that made a football game exciting were infused from the very beginning, and setting up the context for kind of the hills and themes of overcoming, like the David and Goliath theme, was really clear from the very beginning. I also loved how we see the miracle, essentially, and then the rest of the documentary recontextualizes that moment until you see it in the end and you understand the emotional impact of the clip that you saw in the beginning. I thought that all of that was really smart and created a really clean narrative arc for this team. There's so much talk about momentum and how football is a game of momentum. And I think even though I'm more or less familiar with the game, I think that even for people who aren't familiar with the game of football, you understand what it is and how it is that momentum drives that sport, because there's a lot of momentum to the actual documentary itself. Having all the talking heads and the different interviews, also the increasing passion and the energy behind all of these coaches and former players speaking about that moment also give a lot of momentum to the actual narrative and build up the David and Goliath, the story. I think that there's so many really beautiful shots in there in terms of watching the plays happen and getting slow-mo footage. There's shots with blood, so you really get the sort of almost like the gladiator-ness of the sport, and how much these players are putting their bodies and souls on the line. And the stakes for this championship are so clear from the very beginning. I think that was really well done. You really understand what this championship not only means to the players and the team, but to the state and to the university. And they do a really great job of using the coach and bringing in people who were involved with the team to that time to further drive home that point. So there's really no point in time that you aren't rooting for the subject of the documentary. All of those things were really beautifully woven together and made for a very exciting watch.
I think that everybody loves to get invested in a good rivalry story. Who's won more games? Where does it stand? Who won the last game? What's the history of it? And especially if you live in those areas, if you live in that community, or if you've gone to that school, if you're a part of that community, if you're a part of that rivalry, those are the matches that matter to you. Winning the big games, everybody wants that, but the rivalry game, that's the game that everybody is going to keep talking about. And that's exactly what they said. So I thought this was really fun to get to learn about and see the passion from, throughout different years and different players and coaches talking about it. I thought it was really, really great.
It's motivational, it's inspiring, it's very dramatic. I love the handheld documentary style cinematography. It really gives the whole movie sort of behind the scenes feel, like the curtain is really being pulled back for us, and we get to have an inside view. And in doing that, you can really feel the stakes and the intensity of everything that's going on. I love the mixture of the interview footage with the game footage. I thought that was really well done. One thing that comes through in the film is, just the love of the sport. You really get a sense of that watching everyone involved.
This film opens and you are right in the middle of the action. So it immediately grabs your attention and you are slingshot into this world and on this ride with the filmmakers, with college football, with this sport. I thought that the cinematography was fantastic. They did a great job. I liked how they went ahead and they balanced out the interviews with people, and then they had action where you were actually watching the sport. You were watching what was going on. So they did a great job with that balance. You can tell that the filmmakers of this film genuinely, they love the sport. They love these two teams. It was the Bobcats and I'm going to have to cheat, the Grizzlies. You can tell that they loved those teams.
Did find that it was well made in the sense that it engaged me even as someone who's not necessarily very interested in football. And I think it had a great variety of using interviews, but also footage, and I think it captured the spirit of these players and this town really well, and it left me kind of, despite having no connection to this place, feeling very proud of this team that was able to overcome their losing streak and really change the narrative on their team and their school.
I thought the opening was really great, really professionally done. It felt like a Netflix show, the way the opening was. It just totally reminded me of something that would be on Netflix. So, but I thought it was a nice sports documentary. I mean, as far as documentaries go, I thought technically the production value was really good and it kept moving along. The pace was good. The interviews with the different players and the coach and showing the coach do his thing and talking about the other coach. And I thought this was really good. So good job.
It was very sweet and like, showing like this, team and their characters, like the people that are like have such passion and you really see it comes out through this. And it's really good story about like, underdogs, and everyone likes an underdog story and they really tell it very well.